Shalom. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, which includes 144,000 out there pushing this word in all truth and sincerity, and the rest of the hopeful elect, which includes the men, women, and children, and the speckled birds out there listening and learning in all truth and sincerity. Before I get started with this lecture, I want to do a short self-rebuke. On my Pride Part 1 video, I said shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect, still trying to get not to the rest of the elect, shalom to the rest of the 144,000, still trying to get my intro down pat. I want to say Salaki, I'm not trying to include myself within that number. I just want to do the work and make my call in an election and hope that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has chosen me to be a part of that number. So, Salaki. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12, and it says, "For we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise." I want to be a wise, not a fool. So, the title of this one is going to be called Prophecy Watch, the Mark is Coming. And we'll pick up with Revelations chapter 13 and go down to verse 14. And it says, well, let's start 13. "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." It's talking about the beast. Who's the beast? Basically Esau, Edom. Okay? Talking about America and NATO. Okay? And you can see that with the lasers and the fires that they've started all across this planet using their technology. Okay, verse 14, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth." So Satan is a deceiver. Esau, Edom is Satan in the flesh. That's who he is, the red Hebrew Edomite. Okay, "by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast." Okay, so he's using his technologies such as something like the Neuralink, okay, which is part of the MARK, okay, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So what's the image of the beast? That's the philosophies and doctrines that the beast is pushing upon the world. And we see all this confusion with gender equality, feminism, all these different doctrines that they're pushing out there, the whole trans thing, the alphabet soup thing. All of these are different philosophies that are mainly coming out of Babylon that they're pushing upon the world. Okay? And so an example of this we can see on TikTok in this video is right here.
Wherever I wanted, just stare somewhere in the screen and it would move where I wanted it to. And if y'all can see the cursor moving around the screen, that's all me, y'all.
The first ever user of the Neuralink device.
I'm paralyzed from below the shoulders. It was like using the force on the cursor. And I love playing chess, and so this is one of the things that y'all have enabled me to do.
Okay, so this would be a miracle for this man. Like, he could play chess. You just heard him. That's something that he loved to do. And now he's deceived. Now he done took that mark. So that's about to expand. It's about to become more. It's about to be more widespread. And that's what they're looking for. Okay? You don't want to take that mark. Why? Because you don't want to be marked as someone else's property. Okay? That's what it does. Now let's go to Revelation 17, because we just read that the beast that wasn't. Well, let's see what it says. Let's go back to 13, so I don't misquote it. 13 into 14, it says, "which had the wound by the sword and did live." So what is that talking about? It's talking about how the Roman Empire fell, and then how it's come back now through America and NATO. And so if we go to verse 8 and read down, it said, "the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit." So that bottomless pit is Europe, okay, and go into perdition, which is destruction. "And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder." Okay, so they're going to be caught up in it. They're going to wonder after it, okay, whose names are not written in the book of life. So that means everybody else except the elect is going to be caught up in this, because the elect can't be deceived, okay? "Not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. on which the woman sitteth. So who's the woman? America, okay? She's part of that beast system. She's running it, okay? And then the 7 mountains, starting off with Greece, then you got Rome, and then you got France, Spain, and then Britain, okay? And then the other 2, Germania Major and Germania Minor, all right? And says, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads of 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. So which 5 have already fallen? Okay, that would be Greece, Germania Major, Germania Minor, Spain, France, at the time that this was written, okay? Because Rome was still going at that time, so it hadn't fallen yet, okay? And the other is not yet come. And when he come, he must continue a short space. And who's that other? Britain. Okay? So you know they had their little empire. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. And this is talking about America. How do we know that? And it says, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. Okay. And so that's talking about America coming out of Britain. That's where America comes from. It comes from Britain. Okay? And so this is the revived Roman Empire, okay? And America is just the leader of the new Roman Empire, okay? That's all it's really trying to say. So let's go back to Revelations chapter 13, and let's get verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And so how does the beast system speak? Through their laws, through these doctrines that they're pushing out, through these, how they're condemning people. They're condemning a man for a word, okay? So just watch. They make these crazy laws at night and then just pop up out of nowhere. And before you know it, you're in trouble. And so eventually it's going to get to the point where they're going to come after the elect. Okay, but they can't get all of their luck. Some have to be martyrs on this side because that's prophecy, and that's the way Yahweh Shem Yahushua wants it to be. Or just stand strong. Okay, so let's get another video about the, and then we'll go to the next part. This is from YouTube. This is from Lena Petrova.
Hello and welcome back. I have very interesting news for you today, and I wish that what I'm about to share with you was not true, but it is. All of us realized that this was just a matter of time, and the question was never if, it was when. The largest financial services transfer system, SWIFT, which by the way stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, a Belgian company, just like Euroclear, if you want to go ahead and connect the dots. So SWIFT just announced its intention to launch new central bank digital currency platform in 12 to 24 months from now. So in a year to 2 years, all ducks will be in a row, and every single thing will be ready for us to be under full and complete control of our governments. That's what this means. I will remind you that since I started researching CBDCs and actively posting videos on it, the timeline has shifted dramatically. Just a little over a year ago, think about it, just a little over a year ago, vague statements made by the Bank for International Settlements as well as a group of political leaders worldwide, the majority of whom were from the United States and Europe, of course, said, oh, you know what, we're not really sure if we even need digital currencies, we're still thinking about it, we're developing legal framework, we're discussing it, it may not even happen, so don't worry about it. Well, just last week, Fed Chair Jerome Powell echoed that, and he gave an extremely vague, I would even go as far as to say, quite embarrassing for a person of his position answer when asked about the Fed's progress on the digital dollar. You can watch the full video with Powell's response over on my Substack, by the way, but here is a short version.
To a conclusion that we should propose, or anything like that, that Congress consider legislation to authorize a digital dollar. And it would take legislation by Congress signed by the president to give us the ability to do what we think of as a CBDC, which is really a retail CBDC with the public of it. So we're just a long way from that.
And here we are a week later, finding out that SWIFT is launching CBDC platform within the next 2 years. And it might be safe to assume that if this...
Are you a Rocky Mountain Power customer? How would you like to get paid to put a backup battery in your home?
Announcement has already been made. The platform is ready to go. It's been tested and they're ready to roll it out. In fact, nobody is hiding this anymore. For example, a recent report reads, Global Bank Messaging Network SWIFT is planning a new platform in the next 1 to 2 years to connect the wave of central bank digital currencies now in development to the existing finance system. This, of course, means that we will see a wave of CBDCs launched by major economies within the next year or two. The move...
So you see, these devils are starting to make their move. They're getting ready to set up their enterprise. How you think they're gonna do this? Order out of chaos, just like the elders always tell us. And like we say, we can't really trust what they're saying. Like that man was just saying a little earlier that they didn't know, if they were actually gonna do it or not, and what the timeline would be. And now they pop up, oh, yep, in a year or something. It might be next month. You don't know. Let's stay prayed up with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because this is going to come. It's end time prophecy. Okay? And so we can get that in Revelations, back to Revelation chapter 13 and 16. And it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay? And so what is this going into? This is going into the RFID hip, like the elders have been talking about for years. And we see it come into pass now. So if this don't strengthen your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahshai, I don't know what will. Because seeing prophecy come to pass is amazing. And I mean, it should only strengthen your faith. And so with that being said, we know that this is the whole fear of Jacob's trouble. And we see all the things that are coming to pass right before our own eyes. And so we just got to pray and hope that we're of the elect and that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to keep us through this time. Let's get verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell save that he have had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay? And so if you don't have this, you won't be able to operate in this society. Okay, you're going to be cut off from this society. And that's what these elite people want. They want to own you. They want to put this device in you so that you can be their property. So if you're them, if you say, oh, I'm going to take this mark, then they are your master, not Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? And there's a consequence for taking that mark. So you don't want to take it. Okay? So we know it's coming. You got the prophets. They've been telling you for years and years that this is coming. Okay, so be ready. So what happens if you take the mark? This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 11. And it says, well, let's start at verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So how do you worship the beast and his image? You go along with his doctrines and philosophies, okay? And then you take his mark, okay? Because then you're not worshiping Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And there's no coming back from that once you take that mark, okay? That's an unforgivable sin. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture. Without mixture, okay? It's going to be bad. The book of Jeremiah says it's going to be a time like there never was before. It's going to be the worst time. Jacob's trouble. Okay? Poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Remember that ICBM nuclear destruction. Okay? And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. because America is going to be the lake of fire, and it's going to be a memorial, and it's going to burn for a very, very long time. And guess what? Nobody is going to live here after this. That's going to be it. It's going to be a constant reminder to the nations not to mess with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai or his people, Yasharallah. Okay? And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Okay? So let's get back to the video, and then we'll close out.
Which would be one of the most significant yet for the CBDC ecosystem, given SWIFT's key role in global banking, is likely to be fine-tuned to when the first major ones are launched. I will remind you that SWIFT has a truly massive network. It is being used in 200 countries, and it is the platform for nearly 1,000 banks worldwide. The report then goes on to explain that around 90% of the world's central banks are now exploring digital versions of the currencies. And I would like to point something out. When they write exploring, we need to understand that what they really mean is aggressively developing while remaining completely silent on the progress and the timeline. During the past 3 years, we have been given bits and pieces, in many cases conflicting and misleading bits and pieces of what's really going on behind closed doors. And of course, I would say that it has been that way by design. SWIFT said that its latest trial took 6 months, and it involved 38 central banks in addition to a group of commercial banks and settlement platforms. Reportedly, HSBC, Citibank, and Deutsche Bank were involved. According to SWIFT, the pilot program was one of the largest global collaborations on CBDCs and tokenized assets to date. Central banks from Germany, France, Australia, Singapore, Czech Republic, and Thailand, among others, were involved. This trial run focused on making sure that different countries' CBDCs can all be used together, even if built on different protocols on different platforms. It also showed that they could be used in highly complex trade or foreign exchange payments. SWIFT said, and I quote here, "It's moving out of experimental stage towards something that is becoming a reality." So what does this mean? It means that we need to use the next, I would say, 12 months to prepare for CBDC launch. The fact that Fed Chair Jerome Powell gave such a vague answer without providing any valuable information whatsoever should tell us something. It should tell us that there's likely a very important event that should, in theory, take place later this year. You know what it is. And because the digital dollar progress is kept behind closed doors, it will likely be a surprise to us all and will provide a quote-unquote a solution to a problem. It's part of the problem reaction solution playbook. SWIFT mentioned a recent forecast from Boston Consulting Group that by 2030, around $16 trillion worth of assets could be tokenized, a process where assets like stocks and bonds are transformed into digital chips that can then be issued and traded in real time. Remember that for CBDCs to be rolled out, they will first tokenize all assets, absolutely all assets, to prepare for the digital currency launch.
All right. So we know it's coming. Okay? They've been planning this behind the scenes, working on their devious devices, trying to get their enterprise together. And we know that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to disappoint them as soon as they sit down to eat. Okay? They ain't going to get to enjoy it like they want to. But for us, we got to stay up on our watch and be circumspect. Okay? And she said, we know that some event is occurring this year. We know that this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. We know that this system over here in America is going to collapse, and they're going to come try to restore order out of chaos. You know, we already know that's coming. That's what the elders have taught us, and that's what the scriptures say. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to say shalom and all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash, Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom.